provider for the SMB space, professional services, legal services, and then we do professional services for the bigger end of town. So I think there are a few clients in the room today. So I'm going to talk about AI and cyber together. But you know, we've kind of, AI is everywhere. Obviously, the conference, we've been talking about it a lot. You know, it's in every aspect of society. I was on a call yesterday, and there's AI news sites popping up. There's AI everything. So what we want to do today is kind of talk more about kind of the Microsoft-centric view of AI. Some of you might have heard about some of the things that Microsoft are doing. And what we see is a lot of people are talking about, you know, how it helps the legal practice, but we think it can help every part of your business, whether it be the legal team, finance team, HR, doesn't matter. How does it help you and your business today? So those that don't know, Microsoft within the next month or so, maybe a little bit longer depending on what happens, is going to release Copilot, but also this month they're probably going to launch the latest update to Windows 11, which includes Copilot in it as well. So it's going to be everywhere. So what does that mean for most businesses? So from a Microsoft perspective, you've probably heard about OpenAI, you've heard about Microsoft, you've heard about the partnership. What does it mean? So OpenAI is not Microsoft. Microsoft have invested in OpenAI, they're using OpenAI tools, but if you go into Azure and buy API AI services, you now can get stuff from Meta, and Microsoft will be supporting a whole slew of AI providers, right? So think of Microsoft as a platform, and OpenAI is one of the tools within the platform. So Azure OpenAI Services is not OpenAI GPT. So when you're on the Microsoft Azure stack and you're building applications, you know, Microsoft put a bit of a wall around the data, whereas if you go straight to OpenAI, they use that data to retrain the model, and there's some problems with that. And then lastly, ChatGPT is not the new Bing. So ChatGPT is a generative AI tool. It uses data that's a year old. Bing Chat, however, uses Bing search information. It's different, and if you have a Microsoft 365 tenant and you've turned on all the right security settings, when your staff do a search on Bing, it'll come up and say, this is a secure version of Bing for your organization, and it'll actually keep all the data that your team searches for within the tenant. It's super crucial, and I'll kind of talk to you about that. So, at a high level, OpenAI and Microsoft are two separate things. GPT-3, GPT-4, that's text. ChatGPT is conversational. Codex is code. DALL-E is their picture tool. And Microsoft don't have anything to do with that. So, moving on, Microsoft do this Work Trends Index. And what they do is they ask 31,000 people globally through 31 countries on 365 and LinkedIn about where work trends are going. And it's interesting because in Australia, digital debt is costing us innovation. And what do we mean by digital debt? It means those organisations out there that are still using tools that are 10 years old and they haven't upgraded, you're actually not getting the most out of technology. You're using 10-year-old technology, it doesn't have all the right stuff that comes with today's technology. It doesn't have the AI built into it, it doesn't have any of those things. And it means your staff have to think about how to do things the old way. So, you know, when I walk into a council and they're still running Microsoft Word 2013, you know, that's nearly, well, it is 10 years old, right? So, you know, things have come a long way since then. An interesting fact is that 46% of employees are worried about AI taking their job, but then 64% want to use AI to do their job. So there's this like challenge right now. And so everyone's kind of, if you're an employee, you're worried about losing your job. And I'll kind of talk to why we don't think that's a problem. And then work will demand a new AI aptitude. So I use the analogy of most of us in the room remember what it was like when the internet came along and how we had to change working. You know, you didn't go to the library anymore, you didn't buy books, you searched. And those that learned how to search quickly and well became good at their jobs and became more efficient. AI, that's the next thing. How you get the information out of AI is how you're going to do a better job. And it's all about teaching your staff and your customers how to make the most of those tools. So, digital debt costing innovation, and what we mean is, weight of the workday. Everyone looks at that and goes, yep, totally get it. 15% emails, Teams meetings, Teams chats, OneNote, PowerPoint, Word. Where do you actually get your job done, right? These things are time consuming. Sitting there writing emails, sitting there responding to Teams meetings, jumping off a Teams meeting and redoing your notes and follow-up action items and all those sorts of things. They're super intensive. Technology helped us, but it hasn't taken us to the next level. And that's where we think AI can help most organisations. So this is an interesting one in that 60% of Australian leaders and 68% of New Zealand leaders are concerned about the lack of innovation. I think there was a report in the AFR today that said that productivity losses are costing the average Australian $25,000 a year in lost productivity. Because we actually, in the last 20 years, we actually haven't moved in terms of true productivity gains, right? So the data's quite clear. There's kind of 5 big problems: inefficient meetings, lacking clear goals, goal setting, having too many meetings, feeling uninspired, not finding information easily. And this is where the tools come in. So as I said to you before, 46% of Australians are worried about AI losing their jobs. 64% would like to delegate to AI. But this is the interesting one. This is what leaders want. 31% of leaders want to use AI to increase productivity, right? So they don't want to fire people because the last stat says 16% want to reduce headcount from AI. So you can see there's a clear kind of message here. Leaders, and most of us in the room are leaders, want to use AI to make us more productive. We don't want to get rid of headcount. We need to convince staff the best way to move forward is by working together using AI better. So, as I said, work will demand a new AI aptitude, right? It's all about flexibility. It's all about thinking outside the box. It's about, I walked into the office the other day and, one of my staff became an Australian citizen, and 2 seconds after sitting at my desk, I chucked into ChatGPT, plus, draft me an email to congratulate Stu for becoming an Australian citizen. It took 1 second, copied and pasted, put some fluff around it that was me, sent the email out. In the past, I know I probably would have spent about 5 or 10 minutes drafting a nice email, thinking it through. Those sorts of things where you can just churn it out quickly and get on with your day is what it's all about. So, 5 recommendations. Organisation strategy and change. Start thinking about now how you want to use AI. Security. This is super important, and I'll talk about it. AI aptitude and skills development, data governance and strategy, new opportunities for growth. So, why is using ChatGPT today a risk? Those that don't know, Samsung marketing department used it to write a press release for a new product they launched. Guess what? ChatGPT told everyone about the new product that was getting launched before it actually even made the market. Because ChatGPT, if you read the terms and conditions, says whatever you put in here, we will use to give back to people as part of our learning. Do not put anything client-facing, confidential into ChatGPT, because it is not, it's not meant to be used for that. So, what are the risks? Personalization and user data. Don't put things like birthdays, information in there, your kids' names, data breaches. These tools, the free tools, they're free. They don't have the amount of money and security that Microsoft do, because they have in their terms and conditions. If it gets breached, best effort, it was free, good luck. Sensitive data handling and the kind of quality of the data, it is not accurate. Do not use it for any stats at all. So, on top of that, AI is going to increase cyber risks. So I was listening to a podcast, CEO of Palo Alto. He was saying that they trained an AI bot to hack into their own systems. By iterative changes, it took 30 goes to break into their most secure system using AI, right? So this is Palo Alto, who's pretty much the top security company in the world. They're using these tools to hack into their own systems so that they can work out ways of stopping it. So, think about, things like phishing campaigns. You used to be able to tell a phishing campaign because of how poor the English was. Guess what? They don't have that problem anymore. So this is where it's becoming a huge challenge. So building AI products responsibly as a customer, providing tools for your customers to use, and then ensuring you're responsible with the use of AI. There was a massive session in the US 2 days ago. All the top leaders from Google all the way through to Microsoft were at in Washington trying to work out the policies around it. I think the Europeans are going to be ahead of the game when it comes to that, but the Americans will catch up pretty quickly. And in Australia, we haven't even thought about it yet. So watch this space. I'm going to skip a few slides. So Microsoft are betting everything on AI. I'm going to show you a quick video, and this is where I want you all to kind of think about the future. This is, if you haven't seen this video before, it's Copilot within Microsoft Word. People are trialing it right now. There's a few companies in Australia that actually have this rolled out, and it will be rolled out in the next few months. So let's have a look at the video. If I can bring it up. Here we go.
Copilot in Microsoft 365 can help you unleash creativity at work. Imagine you need to create a rock-solid proposal to win the business, and you don't have time for writer's block. You can use Copilot to draft a proposal based on your customer notes in OneNote, as well as another internal document. Copilot scans the target files and gets to work, quickly generating a first draft with all the key details from the files you provided. Now, let's say you want this to look like your previous proposals. Copilot can give you a draft in the format you typically use. It inserts product images and pulls in relevant visuals from other files. You can include a short summary at the top of the document. And Copilot can make suggestions to strengthen the proposal, like adding an FAQ, which it will generate for you to refine.
So that's just Word. They're doing this in Excel. If you've ever had to do a pivot table in your life, you'll never have to do one again. Right? It will create a pivot table for you. So you can see where the world's going, and this is real. Like, a few people have come up to us and said, oh, this AI stuff, it's years away for us. If you've got a 365 subscription from the next couple of months, for $40 a user a month, you get this turned on. And people go to me, $40, that's super expensive. Well, I know most law firms in here charge by the hour, or if they don't charge by the hour, they charge fixed fees. And $40 is a fraction of a lawyer's hourly rate. If you can save a lawyer 10 minutes a day, you've actually repaid this 100-fold. So, from that perspective, you can imagine, and this is where we're talking about productivity. This is what we care about, right? So, what are we doing? So, Fuse are doing an AI readiness assessment for small, medium businesses, and we'll do it for larger businesses as well. So, the big challenge is, it's going to be turned on, and anything in SharePoint, OneDrive, your emails, is all going to be open to the AI tool. And you're going to sit there and type in, I want to know this information. How many times has my boss emailed me in the last 5 weeks, and what action items haven't I done yet? And it will come up with those action items. But if you're in the finance team and you have access to payroll data, you type in, what does the CEO get paid? Guess what it's going to tell you? You're going to type in, what are our top 5 billing, lawyers? And it will tell you the hit list of the top 5 lawyers in the firm, if that information is stored on spreadsheets or Word documents or emails in your stuff. So you've got to think about all these things. So what we're saying is, don't rush into it, plan it out, turn it on for a few people, do a bit of an assessment, make sure that you know where your data is, data classification and all those sorts of things are going to be super important. So these are kind of the 10 steps. What Fuse are doing is we're giving away readiness assessments to anyone in this room today. Scan a QR code, fill in a form, we'll reach out to you, we'll give you some steps, we'll do a quick assessment of your Microsoft tenant to make sure that all the security things are in place, and if they're not, we're going to give you a bunch of recommendations on what you can do to secure it. So that's it for me. Have I gotten us back on time?
That was perfect.
All right.
Excellent.
Pete and I will be out in the stand. The head of sales down here. Feel free to reach out to us. If not, send us an email and we'll help you out when we get back to Sydney and other places in the country.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much, John.